You are missing the signs of ADD in your daughters, and it is affecting your parenting. It's affecting your connection to them. These are 10 signs of ADD in your girls that you are missing and what you can do about them. How do you look for them, and how do you then parent and be successful? Hey, if you are new to my channel, I am Ivan. I am a parent coach. I'm an occupational therapist. I have years of experience working with families, helping families, and watching them grow from the inside, helping them to connect to their children so that families grow from the inside, so that parents know what steps to take. And you aren't just struggling, trying to wonder, what am I supposed to do now? I don't understand my child. I'm not connecting to my child. This is what I do. I invite you to connect with me. Comment below, follow a link so that we can have a talk. I would love to see how I can support you. But back to the topic. These are 10 signs of ADD that you are missing in your daughter. Sign number 1, chronic overwhelm and emotional flooding. Now, girls often, this isn't a hard line, but girls are going to portray ADD or ADHD very differently than boys do. And boys have the stereotypes that most people think of when you're thinking about ADD, when you're thinking about ADHD. Girls are different. My middle daughter is a testament to this. She struggles, and for years we were not sure how to help her. I want to shrink that time for you. I want you to be successful now. Feelings. Number 2 is a constant forgetfulness, and then usually getting upset about it. They are aware that they forget things, and then they just don't know what to do next, and they get frustrated that they forget things again and again, and it's probably affecting their self-esteem. And you're trying to encourage them, and they are beating themselves up because they don't understand why. Steps and routines, appointments, they're trying to stay organized, and it just isn't working. Quiet inattention. And this is a tricky one. This is slippery. It's not the hyperactivity that you often see in boys who have ADHD. When it's ADD, you're looking at a lack of attention, but it's that ability to focus, to maintain endurance of focus. The challenge is that many times, other than the emotional meltdowns that we're having, this is probably a fantastic girl behavior-wise, but she's missing out. She's daydreaming. She seems to space out. She wants to do well, but just can't seem to stay focused and engaged in what she's doing. Now, this is something that really relates to my middle daughter. This is the perfectionism driven by anxiety. This has to do with how the brain processes emotion and that drive to succeed, but then you have this mix of losing focus. My daughter, she's in college now. All through high school and even now into college, she is so worried about being precise and perfect. She gets good grades, but it shoots her anxiety so high that we are constantly renewing and teaching and helping her with tools to address her anxiety, as well as to be kind to herself and understand that she doesn't need to be perfect. She doesn't need to do everything. And if she does drop something, it's okay. Over-editing work, extreme fear of making mistakes, procrastinating because the pressure feels so much, inability to start activities is the next one. Difficulty starting tasks. This can relate to that perfectionism, but this is when if you sit down with them, they do so well. But think about the times when your daughter is the last one eating at the table. They're sitting there, the food's there. Yes, they're hungry. Yes, they want to engage, but they're talking this, they're doing this, and everybody else is eating while they're talking, but they haven't started yet. Or maybe it's their homework, or cleaning their room, or getting ready to go somewhere. Just being able to start the wheel turning, to get the ball rolling, to initiate is very challenging. Number 6, social exhaustion, masking. So many of these I see in my own daughter. And as you look at your daughters, you'll be able to start seeing this too, that, hold on, there's something more going on here. And I, as a parent, need to be able to see these so that I know how to better connect and support and lift my child so that they can be successful. They're fine at school. They hold it together, and then they come home and they melt down. Or there's a group gathering and they're normally social and enjoy people, but then they suddenly seem like the most shy person in the world because they can't process this information. Tears, shutdowns. It takes a lot of energy to hold it together, and then they suddenly run out and it's just done. Now, impulsivity in those social shutdowns, in those social situations, also is a sign of ADD in girls, blurting things out, interrupting, reacting strongly to perceived rejection. It all ties together, and you see this anxiety. Sometimes the anxiety is the easiest thing to see, but if you trace it back, you can see these other roots. I honestly, I love people with ADD. I love people with ADHD. I love how their minds work. I love that sometimes they blurt things out and they don't mean to. And it's fun to see people who don't feel the need to hold back, who can just say things right off the top of their head. Society tends to look down on that and say, how could you say such a thing? But sometimes it brings so much joy. Of course, your daughter recognizes the social differences, and she's going to feel so self-conscious and frustrated. Why did I say that? Why am I so afraid of rejection? Why do I feel so out of place when I'm with my friends and I say this, and then I feel stupid, and then I'm overthinking, and then the anxiety comes back, and the overwhelm comes back, and the meltdown comes back? It's just a sign that there's a different way of processing the brain. And you as a parent, again, need to understand this so that you can support. Number 8 is sensory sensitivities. Clothing textures, noise, crowds, strong smells. A sensory overload can look like attitude. It can look like withdrawal. It can look like disinterest. But if you think about a funnel and you have all this sensory information coming in and they're trying to process through, but they can only do so much at a time because of how their brain is set up. But then you have all this stuff coming in, and of course it becomes very overwhelming. For us, maybe you already have ADD. Maybe you are a parent who does, and you have ADHD as well. Maybe that's you. You recognize this and you know this and you've struggled with it. For those of you who haven't, think back to a situation where it was too much for you. It's probably a big crowd. Maybe it was a big store. Maybe it was a holiday special on aisle 3 and there's so many people and you're just like, oh my goodness, I've got to get out of here. And now tone that back to a store that doesn't have that many people in it. Or maybe it's a decision, but your daughter still has those same feelings of overwhelm. And now you're trying to help your daughter and you're trying to be supportive and you're trying to give them extra cues and just pick this, just pick that, but you're actually just adding to the chaos. And then you see them shut down and then you see them get anxious and you see them melt down and you become frustrated because all we have to do is pick out a deodorant or a blanket or whatever it is. Number 9, chronic disorganization, messy rooms, lost papers, incomplete homework. Think about, before we talked about that inability to initiate. Hey, you know what? I understand that my daughter, if her room is a mess, she doesn't like it. She wants her room to be clean, but she has a hard time starting to clean her room. And then when she's trying to clean, she gets distracted, bounces around from one thing to another, and pretty soon the room is a mess. And that's not where she likes it to be. And that can happen with binders, it can happen with homeworks, even with planning ahead, the chronic disorganization. And number 10, rejection sensitive dysphoria type reactions. I'm not saying that they have rejection sensitive dysphoria, but that style of reactions, extreme emotional reactions to criticism, to conflict, to feelings of rejection, of feeling misunderstood, is so frustrating sometimes for your daughter to express herself and to say what she really means. Think about the number of times when you are trying to communicate and you plan it out in your head and you stop yourself from saying things because you think, oh, no, that's not going to be how I want to express it. So I'm going to say this in a different way. Man, when those blurt out and then you think, that's not what I wanted to say. Now I feel like a fool. Now I feel anxious because now I'm worried about what other people say of me. And now my self-esteem is affected because why do I say these things? And I feel embarrassed. And these 10 items affect your daughters. This is ADD in girls. You also see it in ADHD with girls as well. It's different than in boys. You as a parent need to recognize them so that you can support your child. Now, if you need help, reach out. Let's connect. Follow my link so that you can set up a one-to-one meeting with me and let's chat. I would love to see you thrive. I would love to see your home thrive. I would love to have peace and harmony in your home. And for your daughters to feel great about themselves, and to be able to understand their ADD, and for you to know what steps to take as a parent without feeling lost, without trying to have to do just random searches online. I'm here, and you can reach out to me. Let's connect.